Good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times. That's the history of the world over and over and over again. If you see somebody who's in really great shape, you ask them, do you work out? You know the answer, yes. In a seminar, I'll ask people, who here works out at least 5 days a week? And I'm stand up. And you look around that room, and you know that they work out 5 times a week because you can see their body. You don't just get a result without some kind of action, without some form of ritual. Ritual meaning actions you do consistently. Now, do you think those people that are out there working out 5 days a week, do they have more time than you do? Or I have, or anybody else? Of course not. Is their life less busy? Of course not. It's just a must for them. They must work out that way, and they've made that turn, their life change. So I'm not saying you have to work out 5 days a week. I'm just saying whatever you really want, wants don't get met consistently. Standards do.
You need to hold yourself accountable. I hold myself to such a high standard as an individual. I don't make mistakes. I'm a professional. I know exactly how to act and exactly what to do. I do not need a woman to motivate me, to be my mother, to convince me to put video games down. Everything I've done fantastic, I've done completely and utterly by myself. That's not me being arrogant and a psycho. That's me just being completely realistic about my achievements as an individual.
Average people use their time to whine and complain. And while I would talk like that, I end up getting kicked out of school. And while I talk like that, I end up being homeless. And while I talk like that, I was broke. And then one day I woke up and said, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to get you. But you can go to the library and get yourself.
What we think about, we bring about. When you train your mind to serve you, and in your mind's eye, say to yourself, as I did, if they can do it, I can do it. They put their pants on one leg at a time. They breathe air just as I do. And so I believe that what you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. What is it that helped to develop their thinking, their character, their philosophy, their whole approach to life? What are the things they went through? What are the things that challenged them? What are some of the things that I can learn and that will help me to get to that next level? When you work, that you create things, that you are working on yourself, you do your internal work and your external work, that you're going to be able to move yourself to a place to accomplish things that will literally surprise you and things that you weren't even setting out to do. There are things that I'm accomplishing and things that I'm doing that when I started out, those things, they weren't on my agenda. But you begin to evolve to that level. You're literally creating a new mental blueprint and imagining and seeing yourself already living from the goal. You begin to do some things that most people look at and see as magical.
It's not so much about changing your identity as there's expanding it. Deciding that, this year, this month, this next 90 days, I'm gonna transform my body. I'm gonna take on a new challenge. I'm gonna find some technique or strategy, there's a million of them, that can reframe myself where I'm gonna feel younger, stronger, more vibrant than ever before. Here's my reasons, because I want the energy to really make my life work. Because it's tough out there and I wanna be stronger than I've ever been before. I want to go in front of the mirror, and if I'm naked, not, want to laugh. I want to look there and take a good look and go, yeah, I'm proud of whatever I see there. You can make that change this week. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, never have a negative feeling, because negative feelings are sometimes a signal to make us change.
There is all around you right now the reflections of your world belief. They're so ever present that you don't even see them. All the assumption that you've made about the world, the things that are possible, what you're capable of, who you are, the very definition of what it means to be alive, all of it is completely invisible. And you're mistaking what you have for what could be. Are you in control, or is it somebody else? Is someone else in control, or is it you? And if it's you, go build the life that you want, because there's nothing stopping you but you. So now ask yourself, is your life dictated by luck or cause and effect? Everyone takes the limits of their own vision for the limits of the world. Arthur Schopenhauer.
Everyone has their disabilities, let's say, but the question is, what do you do about that?
And you don't know what the upper limits to that are, because you might ask yourself, If for 10 years if you didn't avoid doing what you knew you needed to do, by your own definitions, right, within the value structure that you've created, to the degree that you've done that, what would you be like? There are remarkable people who come into the world from time to time. There are people who do find out over decades-long periods what they could be like if they were who they were, if they spoke their being forward. And they get stronger and stronger and stronger. We don't know the limits to that. We do not know the limits to that. And so you could say, well, in part, perhaps the reason that you're suffering unbearably can be left at your feet, because you're not everything you could be, and you know it.
Rome wasn't built in a day. We all know that. It's a slow process. That's the thing. Success are generally slow processes. And that is representative of life. Because you don't achieve worthwhile goals quickly or easily. They take time. They take struggle. They take relentless pursuit day in and day out. That's what it takes. And that's why I say you've got to pay attention. You have to watch. You have to watch every single second. And so, that second that just went by, that counted.
Step out of your comfort zone. Push yourself. Work. And nobody becomes a business person and hits the million without actually going through the grind and learning what it means to be hard work person. And that's part of what inspires you is. You have the talent to do it, you have the ability to do it, you have the mind to do it, you're just not doing it because for some reason you convince yourself that sitting back and being comfortable is a good thing. Maybe you're the reason corruption is coming. You're the reason that the world isn't changing the way it is, because if you stood up, if enough of you stood up, if enough of you tried to bring about a change, an entire culture changes.
Everybody, at one point in time in your life, to be successful, you have to jump. Jumping is the hardest thing for people to do, but you have to jump. If you never jump, you'll never be successful.
No matter how painful it is, I gotta keep going. And I gotta keep going because what is my passion? What is my focus? Your focus and your passion will numb you to failure and to pain of striving to get to where you're trying to go.
I don't accept that I am what I am and that is what I'm doomed to be. No, I don't accept that. I'm fighting. I'm always fighting. I'm struggling and I'm scrapping. And I'm kicking and clawing at those weaknesses to change them, to stop them.
When you first jump, I guarantee you the parachute ain't gonna open. Eventually it does open, but it starts with the jump. You have to jump.